What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we have a full album reaction to Under My Influence by the Aces. I do have a review up of When My Heart Felt Volcanic by them as well. Go check that out, of course, after this reaction. This is brought to us by our patron and supporter, Attire. Thank you so much, Attire. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you introducing me to the Aces several months ago. Before we dig into this, if you want to support us in any way, have us react to something, any of that stuff, check out our Patreon link below. The patrons make this thing go. Also, check out our Twitch channel. Lots of live streams going on over there. And check out our Facebook group, guys. So while we dive into this, first off, I like to always see what the patron has to say, because, I mean, they brought it. It's near and dear to their heart. They know a lot about it. So Attire said they were called the Blue Aces from 2012 to 2014. They're comprised of lead singer Crystal Ramirez, her younger sister, the drummer Alyssa, the bassist and Crystal's friend since kindergarten, McKenna Petty, and lastly, Katie Henderson, the guitarist and friend band member since middle school. They've been a band since they were 12. Were called the Blue Aces, and now they're 23 to 25 years old. Crystal's the main singer, while Katie sings the backup vocals and plays the guitar. McKenna and Alyssa sometimes sing supporting vocals for certain songs while playing the bass and drums, respectively. They are managed by Rock Nation, Jay-Z's managing group and record company. The two sisters now live in LA, while the other two remain in Utah. The sisters are the main songwriters in the group, but they do work with other songwriters to write songs. Crystal has been out dating as queer since she was 18. Her younger sister, Alyssa, is also queer, as is guitarist Katie Henderson. McKenna Petty, the bassist, is still in the newlywed phase of marriage with her husband. And what I found on this album is they were talking in an interview before writing the album. They spent so much time with fans, talking with them and hearing what they're going through and how our band has impacted them. The album also sees gender pronouns being used in the Aces lyrics for the first time, with Crystal stating it was something we wanted to explore. She said, "We felt like we were being untruthful and inauthentic to the stories to not use gender pronouns and own who we, Alyssa and myself, are as queer women." So all that to say, let's dive into this album. It is 14 songs, about 45 minutes long, so kind of a perfect length there. Now, I am the research guy, so I always try to find stuff on every song and all that good stuff. It's hard with some of these groups that aren't quite as well known, like the Aces. I dug into some reviews and some different things for this album. There's not a lot out there on them, so I did the best I could. One thing about it, if it's anything like their previous album, their songwriting is really straightforward, very good. You can understand what they're writing about. So let's kind of dig in that. I'll have the lyrics up for every song. And if you're watching for the first time or don't remember, the music will not be in this video as it'll get blocked by YouTube. So the full reaction will be below if you want to click on that link and listen along with me. If you already know the album, just want to know what I think, just hang around here and you will see. Thanks again, Attire. Let's dive into the first track, Daydream. It was the lead single. Daydream, very perfect pick for your first song on the album and a lead single, and it brought back When My Heart Felt Volcanic for me, their first album that I reviewed, because of the production. The production is fantastic, spot on. Little 2.5 minute pop song, almost a perfect pop song. It goes chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So we get the chorus in there 3 times. Very catchy, very well produced, nice harmonies on there, nice instrumentation, and it's basically about a long distance relationship. It appears, I see some people speculate it could be a breakup, but it seems more like, you know, they're having a long distance relationship. Chorus, Daydream about me, and I know that you hate the nights without me. Baby, I hate them too, but you know I'm coming back to you. I mean, I can hear that just resonating in my head. A very good, catchy chorus. So yeah, very good pick to start out with. Now we'll move on to the second track, New Emotion. According to the band, it's about, quote, falling for someone you're not supposed to. Most of us who are at a old enough age have done that maybe once or twice in our life. New Emotion, telling the age-old story of your friends with someone and all of a sudden you feel attracted to them, and then you know nothing can ever be the same. You can't keep that friendship because you're feeling one way, and you know if you act on it and they're not feeling the same way, friendship's over. If you don't act on it, you're driving yourself crazy, which is what she's pretty much getting at in here. Thought about it, never thought about it before. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm surprised and I'm kind of torn, so I'm running from it. You're my friend. I shouldn't be thinking about you like that, but I'm thinking like that. Verse 2, she goes to a party. This person's at the party and looking good. And the chorus, what's this new emotion I'm feeling when I'm around you? What's this now? I'm losing sleep. I can't stop thinking about you. What's this new emotion when I'm around you? So verse 3, she's got to do it. She's already crossed the line in her head. It's driving her crazy. She's got to know. So that's what she's doing. I can't help it. Can't help myself when I'm around you, girl. So the very last line, very last word, what you know she's talking about another girl, which we know anyway. But if you don't know anything about the group, you wouldn't know that going in. I thought Crystal's vocals were good. The first verse was a little muddied. She wasn't exactly enunciating everything, which is a technique that's used a lot of times in pop music. Then she gets clear. Something that was coming back to me from the first album I did of theirs, McKenna Petty's bass is fantastic. These girls can play their instruments. They're not props up there, just up there for the record company to try to look good. Now we're going to go to the third track. Interesting title here. I've been curious to listen to this song. My Phone Is Trying to Kill Me. It was the third single put out, and this could go a lot of different ways, but I felt like my phone's trying to kill me before too, so let's check it out. My Phone Is Trying to Kill Me. A poppy song where there's actually a very serious message wrapped up in it if you're not listening to the lyrics and you're just vibing to the catchiness of the tune. I'm going to put my phone because it makes me feel so alone. I'm tired of checking on you because you look so damn cool. You're so much happier without me. And I think I believe it. And then the pre-chorus, what's the problem with me? Yeah, that's the problem with you now too. There's a monster in my pocket. So when that comes in, they all come in on that vocal. It's a different little musical sound, which I really enjoy there. It really pushes that to the forefront. And just talking about getting messed up, drinking, smoking, trying to live in the moment. I check that screen just one more time. My phone's trying to kill me. I feel hopeless trying to live in the moment. So here's the thing. I'm an old guy, obviously, right? So it's different for the younger generation. For me, if we broke up with someone, we had to work up the courage to go talk to them or call them on the landline. They're probably not there. But in today's world where we got the phone, it has so much more of an effect on mental health. As a matter of fact, psychologists will tell you now that a lot of the problems with mental illness in our world today is because of the phone, because it's instantaneous feedback, right? So if you broke up with someone, you're checking their Insta and seeing what they're doing, and you see them looking happy, right? Because we all pose as being happy, even if we're not. It's a really pretend world online. It can push you down that deep hole. She's in love with this person, and then all of a sudden she sees this person, she's looking all happy, and it's like, come on, man. I guess you didn't need me, and what's wrong with me? And one of the lines in here is the 10 and 3 line. I'm a 10 acting like a 3. Now I'm in disbelief because you got the better of me. So I tell my friends I'll never text you again, but I lied because you just replied. Because it's so tempting, right? I can reach out to you and know you'll see it in this moment. Much different than the old days when you had to call. So a really well-written song and a bigger message than what it might appear if you just listen to the catchiness of it. And let's move on to the fourth track. Kelly was also the fourth single, and Crystal told Parade magazine in June of 2020, Kelly is so exciting for us as a band. It's one of our favorite songs we've ever written. It's also obviously very queer. I Date Women was dating this girl at this time that inspired the song. It's about being really interested in someone and feeling like this person was not giving me the attention I so hoped she would be giving me. Everyone has had those maddening, crazy feelings of just getting mixed feelings from this person all the time. Haven't we all been there? You into me? You're not into me? You are. Oh, no, you're not. Nothing more frustrating than that. So let's check out Kelly. Kelly. Sounded like in the first verse, they might have been using a drum machine a little bit. It's the first time I think I've heard that. It might have been Alyssa on those drums themselves, but it sounded like a drum machine at the start. And one of the things at the end of every chorus, the chorus is repeated 3 different times. Katie's guitar sounds fantastic. First time she's really come in with a heavy hitter instrumentalist. This one did differ up. It stayed true to the instrumentation of the other songs, but it added some differentiation there. And they do a very good job in the chorus coming in with the harmonies. And it just tells the story of what I was talking about at the start of the song. She meets this girl, really likes her a lot, feels strong for her. But this girl just looks at it kind of as a fling, kind of like as a carefree things. Can't you see what I see? You and I could be more than lovers. Guess you warned me that night that you weren't ready. But then they end up hooking up. So she tells her one thing but does another, which is always frustrating in a relationship. Oh, Kelly, what are you doing? Please stop playing with my heart before you tear it apart. You know you're going through it, but won't you tell me to come over? Let you cry right on my shoulder. Oh, Kelly. So that one was, once again, a catchy one, a nice one. Now we're going to move on to the fifth track. Can You Do? Can You Do? Little outro chant there. This is just a flex song is what this is, man. She's telling this girl, like, you do what I say. I'm all that. And you know, that you need me so bad, that you need me on tap, that you're never going back, you say. But I need you to please me. Show me how bad you need me. I can't make it easy. No, no. You say, but can you do? So now I don't mean to taunt, but I can't help but flaunt what I do ain't easy. So just a flexed song, right? And then it just finishes with that, like I said, that chant, like it like that. Probably my least favorite song as far as instrumentally. I mean, it was fine. There wasn't anything wrong with it. Just so far, my least favorite of the first tracks. Well, now let's check out track number 6, All Mean Nothing. All Mean Nothing. So it's the age-old thing of when you're dating somebody and you think it's love, and they probably tell you it's love and it's serious, and then you're broke up, and all of a sudden they're gone and they're with someone else, and you're sitting in your heartbreak going, did it all mean nothing because you're already with someone else and I'm over here alone kind of wallowing in this breakup? Are you just going to that person because you want to escape the pain, which is what a lot of people do? Pre-chorus once, she says, because you're falling for a few drinks and a pretty smile, but you don't even know that guy, but you're holding on to him so tight, so tight. And the chorus got me wondering, did it all mean nothing? All mean nothing to you? Thought we had something. Did it all mean nothing? All mean nothing to you? I really like the bridge. Easy come, easy go. Girl, you give me vertigo. Makes me dizzy. The way you leave me, it's like easy come, easy go. And it just repeats that over in the very last line, and that like it's easy. So there's, repetition of the pre-chorus, the chorus, the bridge. It's really catchy, really well done, and a message that all of us can resonate with that have been in the dating world at all. It's been a long time for me, but those things stay with you. You remember it. Now let's move to the halfway point of this record, 801. It's about each of the members growing up in a religious setting in Provo, Utah, and learning to find themselves in that space. 801 is the area code for Utah. It's based on a poem Alyssa wrote after going to the only gay club in Salt Lake City. I'm actually surprised there's even one in Salt Lake City. But for Crystal, Alyssa, and Katie, especially as queer women, finding their own space was difficult growing up. Crystal told American Songwriter, the biggest thing I'd go back and tell myself as that young girl is that all these things just take time. Keep looking forward and find your community and what brings you so much joy. It doesn't have to be next door to you. It can be online or a few states over, but they're there. Don't lose hope. As a 24-year-old, I look back on 17-year-old me and think that was a brief moment in time. Let's check this one out. 801. Katie and Alyssa really showcasing there. The bass and the drumming, the percussion was much more prominent than it is in the other tracks so far. Has a little different sound to it. And basically she's telling what I talked about in the beginning. They're growing up. It starts out growing up in the 801. There's only one club, so we blow it up. Leave your church shoes and your Sunday clothes, but bring your guilt, and we gonna let it go. I mean, obviously I'm just gonna assume Salt Lake City, that they grew up in Mormonism. I'm a Christian. I'm not a Mormon. I got my own thoughts on Mormonism. I'll just leave it there. I'm not here to offend anybody, but I do sometimes like to speak what I believe is truth, but I'll leave it there. But it's a very restrictive upbringing and kind of a guilt-ridden upbringing. So they're kind of stepping out from all that and just saying, let it go. 11:45 on a Saturday night, hitting a J while we wait in line. Let's leave all those things that we were taught behind, because being ourselves could never be a crime. And then forget what your mom and dad think. And then that chorus that just repeats over and over in this song. They just keep adding to it. You, me, and Money gonna rock to the rhythm that brings out rebels and get higher and higher. And then verse 2, she's with her girl. They're out on the floor. They know everyone. She's not embarrassed about that. I love her so I don't care. And then we just finish up with, that chorus just keep adding and repeating. So a good tune. I like the fact that the bass and the percussion got showcased a little more in that one. Now let's start off the second half of the record with I Can Break Your Heart Too. Crystal said in that American Songwriter interview about this song, we wanted it to feel very relaxed and I don't give an F feel. I love how the verse goes into the pre-chorus and settles into that almost light, unexpected chorus. It's more laid back than you expect when you first listen to it. Lyrically, we wanted to pepper in this empowered feeling. I Can Break Your Heart Too. The star of this was McKenna Petty's bass throughout. What a fantastic job there. Basically, once again, we're on this theme of broken relationships. The person she's singing to has all the leverage in the relationship, or at least she thinks so, but she really doesn't, and she's showing her. Cut you off and you're acting different. Cut you off and you want commitment. Can't take it, but you sure can dish it. Always making new terms and conditions. Was hoping things could be different, but I'm done wishing. All the games you play are boring if you're calling out ignoring because you're just not as important as you think you might be. Wow, that is a fire. That's a fire comment. And then set it up to break me down. You don't want me, then you want me now, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. My life isn't always about you. I can break your heart too. And then talking about verse 2 is really good. You know that they say love is blind, but I don't really think that applies. It's not love between you and I, more like eye for an eye. Once again, I'll go back to, I think many of us have been in those relationships where, the person doesn't want you until they can't have you. Then they want you again. You just broke up in this cycle. Broke up. Now we're back together. That person can't decide. They kind of do want their cake and eat it too. They want you and other things as well. So it is lighter and a different sound to it, as she alluded to in that interview. And like I said, the bass sound kind of adds to that lightness and just a nice little chorus in there. So definitely enjoyed that one. Now we're going to move on to Lost Angeles. Second single is about reflecting on a past relationship, but also speaks to the loneliness that accompanies life in a big city and the struggles of finding your way. Alyssa told American Songwriter in that interview, we're all in our early 20s, and that's right around the time most people spread their wings and leave the nest and maybe move to a big city and face independence for the first time. It's really easy to get effed up at this age and involved with a shady crowd or get into the wrong relationships. This song is bearing all those feelings from that typical young adult experience. It starts off exciting and fresh and fun, but then it goes somewhere sad and lonely. And when they're speaking to Clash in April 2020, they describe the track as being, quote, about the dark sides of LA and that experience of being infatuated by Hollywood in a new city, but then having the excitement and romance of it ripped away at the hands of heartbreak. I can only imagine moving from the confines and the strictness of where they were living in Utah to Los Angeles, where it's pretty much anything goes. Had to be a heck of a culture shock and dangerous if you fall in with the wrong crowd. Let's check this one out. Lost Angeles. And it is about a broken relationship that, whenever you're with someone and then you break up and you've been to all these places and all the memories, it's hard to escape whenever you're there all the time. So I think that's a lot of what this is about. Verse 1 starts out, driving on Sunset. Everything's perfect. But I think that we missed that turn about a mile ago. See, what a clever way of showing it's not going right. So cinematic, over dramatic, but I think we lost ourselves a while ago. And then the pre-chorus one, this used to be romantic, but now it makes me panic. Sometimes I love the city, then I remember what you did to me. Thought that by now it'd be over, but your memory's making me colder. How did you leave me so wrong? And then chorus, Los Angeles, I've had enough. Go ahead and take me home. Los Angeles, you're the loneliest city I've ever known. Then the post-chorus later on is nice. It's all your faults I love about you. You can find my heart in Los Angeles. You're the loneliest city I have ever known. So it's all the faults that she loves about this person and maybe about Los Angeles. You can find my heart in Los Angeles. You're the loneliest I've ever known. So that dichotomy of I love it here, yet I want to leave here and go home because so much hurt has happened to me here. Cleverly written song and did enjoy it. And let's move on to the 10th track, Not Enough. Not enough. The common theme of she's singing, I'll do anything for you, I'd kill for you, bleed for you, do anything for you, but you just keep saying, oh, you say it's not enough for you. So no matter what she does, it is not enough. She starts out saying, I don't know how. You got the solo me. You say jump, and I say how high. We wrote this song about 1,000 times. You say, won't you try? One more line. Just you can't meet the expectations. I will tell you this, that verse 1, I did not care for the vocals on at all. It's almost like she was singing in a different way for Crystal. It's not my thing. But then it got into the pre-chorus and the chorus, and as I always do, the catchiness, the instrumentation bangs up. We got the background harmonies, and then it was almost like she snapped into a different sort of vocal delivery. But I think it has a good message because, once again, I mean, the whole underlying message of this album or theme is broken relationships and how tough relationships are because they are. And no matter what she does, it's not enough for this person. I like verse 2, I think back to the best of you and I. When I close my eyes, hit rewind, but then I slowly start to realize all those happy times were yours, not mine. So I think you get to a point in a relationship sometimes where you know it's broken and fractured, not good for you, but it becomes you become so desperate to hold on to it, maybe because you don't want to be alone, maybe because you don't want to fail. You kind of lose perspective and you just do anything to stay with this person. And once they realize that, a lot of people who don't really care about you, who are very selfish, will use that to their advantage, obviously, and you've lost all standing or leverage in the relationship. And that is what this one is about. So let's move on to the next track, Cruel. I really couldn't find anything on these last 5 songs, but they write in a way that you can actually tell what the song is about, which is very nice and I appreciate. So let's check this one out. Well, it didn't get a lot better for I think back to when you were mine. I think about you. Oh, I think about you. Even with someone new by my side, I still think about you. And then, out with friends, I see your face. You start to pull me in, say you're in a better place. I start to let you in. So they're broke up. She's away from her, but out of sight, out of mind. But now she's there. And then she starts telling her, oh no, I've changed. Come back. And the chorus, why'd I have to love something bad? Can't you go and hurt someone new? Why protect myself to give it all back? How am I back to square one with you? Because a lot of times in a broken relationship, as long as you're not around that person, like, time does heal it if I don't have to see them a lot. And then the second you see them, it just pulls you back. Oh, I've lost myself in a vicious hell of thinking you'll change when I know you never do. Why'd I have to give back to you? Why'd I have to fall for someone cruel? Really good writing there. And then, that just kind of plays out that way. Really good harmonies and instrumentations they do on all their pre-choruses and choruses. There's definitely a theme to this album, right? I think there were some broken hearts and a bad relationship or more than one that really fueled the writing on this. And now let's move to Thought of You. Thought of You. This one definitely stands out as being different on this album for several reasons. First of all, it's got almost an R&B fused feel to it. Which I quite enjoyed. And the lyrical content is totally different because she's thinking of the dream girl. I've seen a lot of things for 23, abandoned all my roots to grow into me. I've had too many drinks, kept bad company. Don't remember her name, but know the feeling. Then we get into that pre-chorus, because I saw you in a dream girl. That's my dream girl. Where you been hiding, dream girl? Gotta find my dream girl. Know she's waiting for me. And then the chorus comes in, so I'll hang on, hang on. And it has a little call and response. And they actually talked about this. Alyssa talked about this. She said, I remember when Crystal and I were writing this. We were working with producer Mike Green. I remember him being so confused that we were doing a call and response 50s thing. We were playing it on the piano. He goes, why? He was trying to make it more modern, but obviously they kept it in here. So it almost has that songwriting style of the late 50s, early 60s. She's not writing to a girl in particular. She's writing to her dream girl, knows she's out there, and just hang on, I'm gonna find you. I know she's out there. Really enjoyed pretty much everything about this song. We only got 2 tracks left. So let's go to Going Home. Going Home. So in this one, she's writing to the fact that she's so enamored with this person. The chorus, well, you could name a time and place. There's nowhere that I wouldn't go. As long as it's just you and I, it feels like I'm going home. Well, you can turn the keys and drive. It doesn't matter where we go. As long as it's just you and I, it feels like I'm going home. So that feeling of you totally know me, and she talks about that in other places. You see me in my darkest places, and I don't care what other people find fault in you. You're perfect to me. Don't listen to them. So that feeling of comfortableness that you have with someone who you've been with for so long, where it just feels right. You're almost like, I'm going to steal something from the Jerry Maguire movie, which if you're younger, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about. But, the you complete me line. And I think that's good in some ways. I mean, I feel like I have that with my wife. But on the other hand, there has to be a little bit of caution there. You can't find your identity in someone else, because then when they leave, you're left heartbroken, like on a lot of these other songs. So there's that balance there. But there is a beauty when you find someone that you're just totally in sync with, and you don't really care what anybody else thinks, and everything's right in the world when you're with them. And that's what she's writing about here on Going Home. And now we'll go to the final track, Zillionaire. Zillionaire. Really just a writing out of the old adage, I wouldn't trade you for any amount of money in the world, right? Empty my account because none of it counts, not like you do. Oh, I could be a jerk, put you off and stay at work like the rich and famous do. Then the pre-chorus, but they don't have the baddest in the room, baby. So planes and rings and cars will have to do because they don't got you. And then, of course, the infectious chorus, like all their choruses are, all the money in the world wouldn't matter to me, girl. You're the one that makes me feel like I'm a zillionaire. You can throw away the pearls. They don't compare to you, girl, because your loving makes me feel like I'm a zillionaire. A little vocal treatment, which we haven't really had on this album, in the chorus right before the outro. This could have been at home in the 80s. It's kind of an 80s R&B infused girl group song that were pretty popular back then. So I like that influence on it. I also like it that the last two tracks, Going Home and this one, after a lot of the heartbreak and difficult relationships are sung about on here, we have two very positive tracks to end this one off. So now I'm going to get to my favorite tracks. I'm going to go with the first one, Daydream. Nice little 2.5 minute, perfectly put together pop song. I like My Phone Is Trying to Kill Me, because I think underneath, as I said, that infectious melody, you have a very, very serious song. Lost Angeles is a really fantastic song. And then I'm going to go with Thought of You. So a lot of good tracks on here. And now we're going to get to my overall score. Their debut, When My Heart Felt Volcanic, I was at an 8.25 on that one. I think I talked about in that review, when you have a, quote, debut album, you have all these years of material, right, that you can put in there, and it's kind of the best of the best that you put in there. It's always tougher with that sophomore album because you don't have all of those years of songwriting to pick the best of the best to put on the album. But I think they did a very good job here. Obviously, as I talked about earlier, during the reaction, there is an overarching theme of relationships, and mainly broken relationships, although it does end on a positive way. Their instrumentation is spot on, just like it was in the first album. They're not just thrown up there, that they can really play their instruments. I think Crystal does a really good job on vocals. I've mentioned it before. I think, there's certain times where it doesn't exactly work for me when she's just solo in there. But they have a formula, not in a bad way. It's pop music, guys. There's a formula to pop music, right? It's verses, it's choruses, it's pre-choruses, it's bridges, and it's repeating those things throughout the song. It creates the melody and the catchiness that sticks in your ear. They're very good at doing that, and they're very good coming in on the harmonies, on all the choruses to punch them up with instrumentation and more vocal power, and that is when they sound their best. So in this, I'm going to be at a very strong 7.75 on first listen. As I said on the first album was 13 songs, 48 minutes. This one's 14 songs, 44 minutes. I said it on the first one. It would have been better if it was 10, 11 tracks. I don't really know what I'd cut off on it, but just, a little more succinct. But 44 minutes is still not bad, and I really did enjoy it. Thank you, Attire, for bringing this to me and introducing me to the Aces. Look forward to whatever we get to next with them. Let me know what you think of this album. And like I said, the other album is up. I will link it on the end screen and in a card up above. And until next time, guys, I will see you.